I gotta get this party mix, man. This party mix is off the chain. Uh, every time I get on there, I'm like, I've never heard any of these songs, but like, I just want to start moving. All right, so I got five things I want to share with you guys today that I was lucky enough to be part of an agent attractor mastermind, and they shared, and I'm like, man, sometimes it's just hearing something a little different that makes you like, oh, I get that. Just like I had that experience with Rob Flick, kind of like hearing what he has to say about, he's re-inspired to go out there and crush it. He's got this 3 foot rule. He's going to every single person he meets and just talking to him about the opportunity and asking him, hey, just curious, like, what's your fourth best passive income strategy? And most people don't have one really. And but he's talking about the fact that he's reading a lot of books and he's realizing that a lot of affluent people have massive amounts of passive income. So he's like, "What's your fourth best one?" When you start diving in, it just starts a great conversation. Like, so I'm looking for opportunities to have more natural conversations. So I got to be a part of a attractors mastermind. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to share this with the call on Friday. So I'd love to hear if anybody's got some blessings, but I mean, I can just tell you right now, if you guys don't know this, this happens to be we're tailing in on the best month of the year, is August. It's the number 8 month. If you guys which means something. I'm sure Nari would know what the number eight means in numerology, but it's a time for infinite opportunities if you allow them, right? If you have the mindset of I'm going to go out there and get my unfair share. We've got this I'm going to share something really fast with you. Yesterday, we celebrated a bunch of brand new agents who just jumped in real estate. I'm like, man, I'm kind of jealous. You guys are coming in right at the tail end of the suffering, and you're going to come in like you're going to look like heroes just coming in there and just doing the work because that's what we're seeing right now. So, super excited about the opportunities. By the way, if you guys haven't done this already, um, I just booked my room for EXPCon at a hotel like 4 blocks, and I was stunned to find like the cost of some of the hotels right now because like last year I think I paid like almost $400 a night. It was like $160 or something like that. If Lisi, you're here, just put the name of the hotel in the chat. It's a few blocks. Several of us are going to be staying at this hotel. So if you haven't got your EXPCon ticket, you haven't got your hotel, at least book the hotel. This way you can get that good pricing. And again, it's only a few blocks away from the convention center, so we can all kind of walk together. All
I'll
right.
jump
Before we get
in real
started,
quick.
anybody got a
I
blessing
want to
that they
jump in
want?
real quick. I want to
Go
interrupt you
ahead.
real quick, just touching on what you said. So the way the hustle works for Florida, South Florida, Miami, um, the Riviera Suites, for example, for EXPCon or the Catalina Hotel, they're both 2 blocks away. You can get rooms there at $100 per night. And when you book through Airbnb, you avoid the what is that tax the like the tourist tax, the $40 a night that each hotel charges you. So I put Vincent on last year. Me and my team will be staying there, but it's going to be it's no resort fees. That's what they call it, the resort fees.
Got it.
Resort fees can be up to 40, $50 per room in, each
Yeah.
place. So when you book through Airbnb, you avoid that. Hotels are now posting there, and then they're not updating the pricing the way they should. They don't have the algorithm to do so. And so you can really snag a deal there right now. So
Yeah.
one of the
Right
ones
now
that we,
you can. I can tell you last year I got hosed. I
yeah,
bought last second and I was paying $400 a night and I was like, this is
yeah,
not worth it. Yeah.
yeah.
So the
So,
key thing is
so
they don't even charge you until you get closer to the event right now. So like just get on one of these hotels. Yours was the Riviera. I don't know which is the one I booked in, to be honest with you. But get it done. Get it booked, put it on your calendar, get the reservation in there, and just if you know you're going, book it.
Uh,
The hotel referred by Gil is called the Riviera Suite South Beach Luxury Boutique Hotel. It might be the same
exactly
hotel
the
you
one
told.
I'm talking about. So that's the one, and you just book through Airbnb, and then you can avoid the resort fees.
Perfect. 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 I'm going to tell you something. Most of you guys uh, will feel me when I say this. My biggest regret in every event is I don't invite enough non-EXP people to the event, right? And you got to give people a little bit of runway if you're going to ask them to leave the market for a few
Hey,
days
you them?
to Miami. So the one thing I will tell you is who's your top three, four, or five people that you're going to start talking to right now about this event? And I'm curious, Desmond, how would you invite someone to EXPCon that's never been to an EXP event? Like how would you talk to them about even having that conversation about maybe going on this mastermind? What would you tell them?
I mean, it's really simple. The way that I explain kind of the company to people is, and I was doing this, all week. It's a network of sharing. You're in the room with people that are actually, generating, said income, doing said procedure, that are, opening up the books for you. You know what I mean? And there's always opportunities to figure out how to, make money. And so the people that haven't been to a conference or whatever, if they go there, they're, usually overwhelmed. The ones that have been to conferences, I can quickly kind of like articulate the value. Listen, it's free. Everybody else is paying $900 for it. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
days and days of understanding how people are in their markets moving the needle forward, and you just sit there and take notes and grab some
Yeah.
stuff to, to chew. And it's
Yeah.
going to be a huge value in time. Like there's no way to lose there. So.
Yeah. I think it's funny because you and I, Desmond, go to a lot of conferences, right? So we kind of know conference feels, right? But
Correct.
I'm
I
always
just came
surprised,
from
like,
Tom Ferry yesterday.
yeah. So, but there are a lot of people that never go to these experiences, and it's like holy mackerel, it's a whole new world to them, right? But I got to tell you, being a conferencer, somebody who goes to a lot of conference, I'd put up EXPCon versus anybody. Like it is a solid conference. It's a solid city. You're going to have a good time. There's a lot of sharing. I think probably what I get most out of it beyond just like the main stage stuff is the breakout rooms where individual agents are handpicked to say, hey, you're doing something exceptional. Share with me what you're doing, whether that's going to be AI, whether that's going to be lead generation, whether that's going to be, I think we're going to be doing one on how we built our culture center and how to mimic our systems for that and how to monetize and stuff like that. So I think Veronica and I are teaching a breakout on that. But there's going to be almost any way you can do business, whether it's land, ranch, luxury, commercial, there will be breakout rooms. And that's where you really get your good stuff because what you're going to do is you're going to go and this is my hack for like going to EXP conference, right? The rooms that you choose to go to that are not the main rooms and stuff like that, you want to get to know people in the room. First off, you better get there early because almost all of those breakout rooms that are hot usually sell out and like they're standing room only, right? So get there early, meet the people who are also interested in what you're interested in, and then get some relationships going on so you can hold yourself accountable afterwards and meet the speakers. Man, I can tell you, like, meet the speaker, have some one-on-one with the speaker. And like, follow them around the conference if you got to, but make sure you get your values worth. And it's not hard to get value out of a trip that's less than $1,000 for a ticket, but go in there and get your unfair share. These are people who are also shareholders with you, right? These are people who have a genuine interest to help you, and they're not in your market. They don't have any fear of like, oh, if I teach you Desmond my trick on how to, manipulate leads or something like that, like, great, like go do it, right? So I definitely highly, highly recommend like really get hard on making decisions about what trips you're going to go on and what value you're looking to get out of it. Now, if agent attraction is the model that you're going to, they're going to have breakouts on agent attraction. We're going to have I think 6 breakouts on just agent attraction spread out all of this. So you can actually go on the agent attraction track and make sure that you're hitting all of those to upgrade to be ready for 2026, the swell of agents that are going to be end up coming to EXP. So take advantage of EXPCon. If there's one thing you get out of today's call is get your hotel room and get your buddy pass, right? Get your buddy pass. So Narda, I know you're going to go. Get your buddy pass. Find an agent that you've done business with that's been on the other end of the table and say, hey, what are you doing in October? We're all going to Miami. I sell it, first off, it's a trip. I sell it that it's going to be fun. I sell it that it's going to be a world class real estate event. I don't sell it as EXPCon. I'm one of the few people like, you know what? We need to rebrand EXPCon. Actually, there's quite a few of us who are on the whole, let's rebrand it to something else, whatever like thought provoking word could be, some kind of, ideology rather than just our company name in there. But that's how I sell it. So if you're looking to age and attract, you should be inviting people to events. And EXPCon is a great free way for you to invite someone to get a ticket to an event that would normally cost them $900, right? And I can tell you, if I don't know what the percentage is because I haven't seen anybody not join, but I'm sure like it might be 10% or something like that, or 5% people. Those people that show up to an event and they go to an event for the first time and they experience it, they come back different, they come back excited, and they come back in your downline. So take advantage of EXPCon, EXPCon, EXPCon. All right. uh, so here's the 5 things. Anybody want to share a story real fast before I go to the 5 things? Anybody's got anything that they're working on, somebody that they've been recruiting, or just I don't know, any kind of blessing they want to share before we get started.
Got my VAs cold calling everybody in Manhattan. Got the first appointment with one of them in a couple of hours. So I've had some success doing that before. Simple question: you're looking, to ever make a switch? Have you ever, considered making a switch? Oh no, you're happy. Okay, no problem. Do you mind if we put you on our email list for social events and educational, lunch and learns, and keep them in the loop like that? And so we're going through 12,000 people. It's going to take 96 man hours. So we're doing it through the recommended time twice a day. I think it's 11 to 1 and then 6 to 8 p.m. Every single day. Or like, I think the weekends are different. But we'll see what comes of it. I'm looking to kind of systematize the process, invite people to, solutions. The person I'm meeting with is from Keller Williams today. And I'm just in the process now of figuring out how to get all the intelligence on the people before I meet this. I guess I got to reroute that process to start Googling them and add notes and come up with, checklist of questions. But I've had success. I'm doing it in the past, and we're kind of just ramping it up again.
Awesome. Awesome. It's funny. I feel like there's some brokerages that are easy to recruit from. I think in the last couple of weeks, we probably brought in like 6 or 7 Century 21 agents, and I feel like that's probably like it's almost like the easiest brokerage outside of, well, there's several of them, but like that we like the brand opportunity with EXP is so amazingly great. The only reason, I believe this about a lot of brokerages, the only reason they're not with EXP is because somebody hasn't explained it to them properly, right? And the way they explained EXP to them was that it's kind of a multi-level marketing and it's 80/20 and you got this rev share and blah blah. And you know, sometimes people have to just see something different, right? And I've showed you guys like I'm my philosophy on like truth. Most people like I think I'm a pretty decent speaker, but most people aren't going to believe me, right? But they will believe somebody else that tells them something, but they'll always believe something they've told themselves. And the experience of going to an invitation allows them to generate their own feelings about something. Yeah, I said it was great. And by the way, here's what all these other people are saying great. But you know what I think? I think it's great. And you rob somebody the opportunity of that when you go to an event without them. All right, so I want to go with the very first thing that I thought was kind of profound and we kind of forgotten a little bit. So the very first thing I want you guys to write down as the top 5 things you should be doing in agent attraction is tell your story loudly. And I wonder what your story is. Like, what's the story? I remember Juan Fernandez coming in sharing his story, and he says, EXP did this for me. My kids live all over, I think he said one of his kids was in Hawaii. He had never been to Hawaii, and he cashed in his rev share checks to go spend some time with his son. What a great story. I hear stories about EXP retired my wife. It's a great story. Hey, EXP pays my car payment. EXP allowed me to cash in my stocks, and I bought a retirement home. I mean, a investment home. Maybe it's a retirement home. Hey, since I joined EXP, my business has doubled, tripled. Since I joined EXP, I'm a better human being. Since I joined EXP, I'm healthy, wealthy, strong. What's your story? And what I want you guys to really focus on is delivering that story. And I'm also inspired by Rob Flick, who's on a terror right now recruiting people. And he's just got the 3-foot rule where he tells people things that make him happy, things that change his life, things that have excited him, right? A lot of you guys are on cloud nine. You're excited about the business. You see what's going on in the marketplace. You got better systems than you have ever had. You got the best CRMs. You got healthcare. You've got the stock, which is going up. You've got you're in the right place at the right time. You are where pros go to grow, right? But what's your story? And is it a tip of tongue for you, or are you trying to tell an EXP story? And I think that's where the mistake.
They know you already.
You've got to get to a spot where you're willing and ready to tell your story about how EXP has affected you. And if you're new to EXP, you might tell somebody else's story and leverage their story until you have your story, right? It's funny because Rob Flick, he's going to be, I'm going to have him on one of these Alliance of Director calls, but he shared a story about like when he first started, he said, you know, how are you doing, Rob, since you joined the EXP? It was like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I was like, I'm not the numbers that like my mentor is at right now, but I'm on track to get there. And that was it. He was making $5, $1,000, $15,000, $50,000, not the $500,000 a month he's making right now. But on the journey, he just leveraged his upline. He leveraged his mentors and said, and that was his famous line. He says, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I am on track to hit the numbers my mentor's hitting right now. My mentor's hitting, $600,000 a month, $60,000 a month, $50,000 a month, whoever story you want to share. So step one, Ben, if you're listening, tell your story loudly. Share your personal EXP journey everywhere. On social media, at masterminds. People follow authenticity, not pitch decks. And it's important to have these pitch decks. It's important to show off EXP's, achievements and things of that nature. But most important for you to tell your story. I wonder if all of you guys have a pin story on your social media. And here's something you can do today. How many of you guys have a pin story in your social media that says either why I joined EXP, why I left my old company, what benefits I've had since I've joined EXP, or how EXP's changed my life, or what have you, or what has EXP done for you? Do you have a story like that? If you don't, you got your first homework assignment. Do you want to say anything? All right. Number two, we talk about this one all the time, always be inviting. We talked about it early on there. Every coffee, every open house, every call is a chance to invite an agent into a conversation or a Zoom. Just don't sell, invite, right? We talk about invitation being the key to agent attraction, right? But we forget about the different things that we can attract that aren't these big things like EXPCon, right? It could just be like, looks like Rebecca's on a run right now. Hey, real estate agents in Central Florida. I'm working on my health, and you might be too. Hey, on Fridays, I'm doing a run from this place to this place. If you're interested, I'll be there at 9 a.m. Whoever shows up, whatever. She's going to run anyway, right? And maybe she decides to make a cause about it, and she says, you know what? We're going to run. We're going to do like whoever's interested. I don't even care what brokerage you're in. We're going to run from here to there, and we're going to get a mile in, and we'll stop for a coffee over there. We're going to be talking about AI, or whatever she wants to talk about at that thing, and then just put that out there. Like most of you guys are doing something cool. Most of you guys are doing something that somebody else would love to be at. So don't just think about inviting as like inviting to these big events, right? Invite to the small stuff too. Could you imagine somebody in your market said to them like, hey, I'm going to be working on my comps at the Starbucks over on such and such? I know when I first started real estate, I struggled with comps. I didn't know how to do comps. I'm going to be over at the Starbucks on Thursday. If any agents out there are struggling with comps on how to comp a property, I'm going to be doing a super tiny coffee mastermind for anybody who's interested in learning about comps. And maybe that could be your thing. And somebody puts their hand up. And I'm going to tell you about someone who's not on the call. And it's like the first time she's not on the call. Lucy started her Winners Wednesday that way. It was just like, hey, I'm going to be here on Wednesday. I'm going to be on the Zoom. You want to join me on the Zoom? And it went from one person to two people to five people to 15 people to 100 something people. Always be inviting. It doesn't have to be an epic invitation. It just has to be something that you think is fun, that you think is interesting, that you think might solve their problem. Anybody here good at comping, by the way? Anybody actually like that's like something you're like, oh, I figured this one out. I have a proven repeatable system for comping, right? You'd be surprised how many people would kill to get to know how you do comps. Just be able to look over your shoulder, like they're afraid to ask. How many people do open houses but don't really know how to do a successful open house? Hey, everybody, I'm doing, I remember when I first started doing open houses, and what I used to think was an open house is put a bunch of signs out, put it in the MLS, and just sit there and wait for somebody to show up. Last week I had 40 people at my open house, and I've got a proven repeatable system. I was like, if you're a real estate agent, you're struggling, you shouldn't be struggling. I'll be happy to help you. I'm going to be doing an open house on Saturday, blah, 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 at this property. If you're interested in seeing how I do my open house, feel free to stop by. I'll be happy to give you my roadmap on what I do. By the way, for those of you guys who do open houses, can I tell you one really cool thing to do? If you've got a property, take the property front photo and drop it into your ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to make it into a coloring book. And then have a coloring contest where you invite everyone to color and just tell them, hey, we're just going to do a raffle, but you're going to take all the coloring pages and you're going to put them up all over the walls on the front wall there and let the kids kind of just color there. Get a box of 64 Crayola crayons and just have a coloring contest for the kids. Have adults put it in there and say, hey, listen, we're going to be giving away a gift card by a raffle. Just the raffle ticket is this. Just put your name and phone number so we can give you a call. It's just a different way of asking for their information and getting them to stay there a little longer. And we all know if the kids are not acting right, the open house view goes short. But if they're having a good time, the parents feel more comfortable to ask about what's going on in the market. They ask about the neighborhood. They ask about about how would we come up with the pricing. And it allows you to engage with them. So take the front photo of your property, turn it into a coloring book, get a little kids table, get like that, put some snacks on the table, and just leave that there. Have a coloring contest at all your open houses. Number 3, we talk about this all the time, but yet to this day, a lot of you guys struggle with this. Getting third-party validation. Having someone else come in and help you. Hey, I'd really love to introduce you to Daga, right? Right? Whoever that person is for you. Hey, I know you were looking to run a team. I've got a guy who actually does some team leader coaching. He's a good friend of mine. I'd love to connect you. Maybe he can help you build a team. And the one thing I've always heard him say is you could lose a lot of money starting a team if you don't know how to avoid a few steps. And I've heard him go over the steps, but like I'd love to have him share with you. Do you want me to get you on a 3-way call or get you on a Zoom and like him kind of just do like a little mini coaching call with you about how to build a team? I'd love to help. Maybe it's like, it's about they're looking to get their business automated. They're looking to get lead generation. They're looking to what have you, whatever's going on in their business. And you don't know how what's going on in the business until you ask, right? Man, I'd love to be able to help you with that. Just out of curiosity, what are your goals? That's awesome. I know a guy or I know a gal who's actually really good at that. I was like, I'd love to get us on a call and see if we can strategize a way to make sure you hit your goal next year. Right? All right, we only got a couple minutes left. So this is the one everyone forgets. This is the one you got to write down. And you got to write down over and over and over because everyone fails at this one, including myself. You got to follow up like a pro. Now, most of you guys know that every Friday we're going to follow up for our freedom, right? We follow up for our freedom. So you should already have your list of people that you're going to be following up with today and just touching base with them, see how they're doing, see how they're doing. Find out, hey man, just out of curiosity, what are you doing in October? Well, what do you mean? Man, I'm going to this dope ass real estate conference in October. It's over in Miami. It's incredible. They're bringing in the world's best agents and leaders all around the world. It's where pros go to grow. And you can go to EXP's website and kind of see some of the speaker lists. It's like, it's going to be awesome. It's October, blah, blah, blah. And just give them, say, hey, man, you interested in going? If I could get you a free ticket, would you be interested? Follow up like a pro. Have a reason to follow up. By the way, is this making sense to you guys? I know I'm telling you stuff I know you already know, right? But sometimes even I have to be hearing this again in a way that just sticks and makes me want to take action. All right, I'm gonna go over the last one. And this is one that I like and makes sense for me, right? Um, but I think most people miss out on this because they just get so excited and they just kind of go into EXP vomit and they EXP all over people. So the last one is show the bigger picture. Show them what the future could look like. Paint the vision of wealth building, freedom, collaboration, what's possible if they were to join now while the marketing is shifting in our favor. What if we can get them in this big race called real estate to the front of the line when the bell rings? What if you were in the Boston Marathon? You could start right there in the front rather than the rookie section in the back. I'd love to show you how we do that. I would love to show you how we're building wealth and we're helping real estate agents retire, right? By showing them how to make money so they can spend money on things that make them money. If you ever have a group of people that want to build some wealth that are looking to get on a Zoom, I'd love to do a Zoom for you. If you got 4 or 5 people that were looking at like, hey, just out of curiosity, what's your plan for 2026? Is 2026 the year you start your retirement run? And I don't care if you're 25 years old, the age doesn't matter, right? It's about building wealth through real estate. I'd love to do a Zoom with them. I'm doing one for I don't have a date yet, but once I have a date, I'll just make it known for everybody. But we're doing a wealth building mastermind on how I acquired my properties and you know and what the strategy was and how we did it and what that means and what that reflects. And I'd love to be able to invite you in there. So if I could just recap those 5 things, and I'd love to get some feedback from you guys because there's usually one of the 5 things that are like that caught my attention, right? So the first one is tell your story loudly, share your personal experience, make sure on your social media you've got a something tagged there about your story, and it could be anything. It could be why you moved to EXP, what EXP's changed for you, what your insight on real estate is as a result of being with EXP. It could be about the community, it could be about the culture, right? Whatever your story is. It could be the fact that you've gotten a few people introduced to EXP and it works and it allowed you to travel around the world. Number 2, always be inviting. We've talked about that many times, but we never really articulated how to invite to something small. It doesn't always have to be an EXPCon, but we also went over like how to invite for EXPCon. Hey man, what are you doing in October, man? This is an awesome real estate conference. It's called Where Pros Go to Grow. And I'm going to it. I just booked my hotel and it was like super cheap for the hotel, like $100 a night in Miami. And I was like, I'm interested. I guess it just so happens I got a free ticket to go to the event. My ticket cost me $900, but I got a free buddy pass. Would you be interested in growing your business? That's it. Number 3, leverage third-party validation. Get somebody involved. See if we can get them a respected partner to be able to help them get bigger, better, faster in the area that's important to them. Number 4, follow up like a pro. Make sure that you are going back and touching base with them about where they're at in their struggles, where they're at in their wins, and being available as a partner, as a success partner, as a celebration partner. Hey, dude, good stuff, man. I saw you close that one deal, blah, blah, blah. Awesome. And lastly, show them the bigger future. Share as you start developing their relationship with them, share them, paint them the vision of what it would look like to have a successful business. Paint the picture of someone who has done that already and say, hey, listen, I'd love to connect you with that person. But you got to share with them what wealth building, freedom, collaboration is. What's that feel like? What's that possible? because it might be something that's so different from them they've never experienced before, and it really could paint the vision. I can tell you, I number five, I would not be with EXP if I didn't see that one. Number five. Number five for me, if someone wouldn't have showed me the rev share calculator, if somebody wouldn't have introduced me to Gene Frederick and seen me like, yo, your goals suck, Gil. Like, that's what I felt like after I met Gene Frederick. Dude, my goals suck. I wasn't even scratching the idea of what's possible, much less hitting what's possible. So, show them the bigger picture, allow them to see what is possible in real estate, and invite them to an opportunity to understand why EXP is where pros go to grow. All right. So, of those five, which one rang your bell? What's your commitment? What's your aha moment from those five? We only got 10 minutes left, so I need you guys to jump in very quick and kind of let me know what you're thinking.
Hey, Gil. Super exciting stuff. Love everything. Sorry I'm winded. But I love the pin your message on social media. Anything that has to do with social media, I'm game, because I really want to bring people in through attraction marketing. So that fits the bill, and I hadn't thought of that. And also, as you were speaking, I had started to put my list together, and I was trying to think outside of the box. Who else do I know or do I have in my circle, or even out slightly outside of my circle, that I could reach out to? So I started seeing some agents who were in my Facebook who I don't really know them, and they're achieving some incredible things. So I said, you know what? Why am I not friends with that person already? Let me just start, congratulating them, zoning in to become friends so that I can get in their world, right? So
Wow.
that's my strategy that I've picked with a few people, and I'm gonna keep growing that list, adding on so that I can build more relationships, thinking outside of the box, of outside of the people I already know. And I'll let you know how that goes.
That sounds
But I
awesome
do
already.
have a whale that I'm working on. She had previously been with EXP before, but I think when she came in, I don't want to say she's with the wrong alignment. Sometimes the wrong alignment is right here. They don't get the model, and they came in thinking one thing, it didn't work for them, and they were out. And so this person has actually joined a few different brokerages, and she's like coming back to me, and she's like, Rebecca, EXP, tell me again about it, because everything just keeps leading me back. Everything that I want keeps leading me back to EXP. So we've just continued the conversations, and she finally made her decision, and she's coming back. So super excited about that. It's really just relationships. Just stick it in there and stay in there. And she's been talking to a lot of people. So there's a part of me that said, what am I doing here? I mean, she is a friend, but she looks at like people that are larger than life. And
Right.
sometimes you start to think smaller of yourself. You're like, well, they're going to obviously want to go with, all these other top influencers. But the truth is, at the end of the day, who's established the relationship? Who's there continuously? Who's dropping value and helping them up? So that's really what a lot of people look for. That's what I aim to do, is just be that person.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I salute the fact that you're always out there just networking with people, getting to know their story and getting intimate. I love your strategy of just really going through, because a lot of us have that problem. We have a lot of Facebook friends, and many of them are realtors, but they're not a friend. We haven't really invited them to anything. What a great list to invite people to experience what you're experiencing right now. So that's incredible. That's great stuff. We've got about 6 more minutes. Anybody had an aha? One of those five really kind of attract you? So Rebecca's was definitely, tell your story, right? And tell your story to more people, right?
Hey Gail, I can share.
Go ahead, Juan.
I just got my icon award yesterday in the mail,
Outstanding.
and I put it all over social media. I did a video, I was jumping, I was dancing, and telling my story, like you said. Telling the story is amazing. I've been doing that. And this month, I went to Ecuador Open, and they invite me to the stage. They call me Juan de
Wow.
las Casas from New York. It's in Ecuador, in I started a small team over there. We had two people already join um, using the co-sponsor. So happy. I'm jumping up and down every day. Like this is like a dream. So I'm sharing this, like you say, the story that I have, plus the opportunity that it gave me to travel, like you said in the beginning, to visit my son in Hawaii and visit my dad in Ecuador, and this is amazing, man. The EXP has brought this for me. And this is just the beginning, like I always say, so many amazing things we can do here.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
that's my story.
That's incredible. I'm looking for your story about that. I want to share that. By the way, I love your complete guide to buying homes on your stories. Let me ask you a question, Juan. Were you always this good before you came to EXP?
Uh, no, no, I struggled in the beginning. When I joined EXP, we joined with Benson. We all were new at that moment. EXP was new for us, so there was no
Hmm.
mentorship program. There was no trainings as we have all over the place right now. So I figured it out. I went to my bed every night and I'm like, I used to ask my sponsors, to help me out because the real estate was new for me also. I was not in the industry. I just joined real estate when I joined EXP. So
Hmm.
imagine both things new for me. It was a mess and but I never gave up. I said this is I love the fact that they had the revenue share. One thing I understood that once the company has the way of generating income, different ways. And I'm like, this is it for me. I knew that the company has that. And
Hmm.
the commission side, I already knew that I can be good at that because I'm good talking to people, building relationships and that stuff. And and I start figuring it out. I start studying KB Core. I start studying the MLS, how to do comps, like you say, and how to do open houses, all this stuff. And, thanks God we had YouTube at that moment, we could learn a lot of things there. So I figured it out by myself. Then I became a mentor. I said, like, the program came just after. So I just jumped in. I said, I'm going to certify myself and I'm going to teach other people. I don't want other people to go through what I went through in the beginning. And this is hard. You know how it is real estate when you begin. And I almost cried one time. I was like, I didn't want to give up. I'm like, I can't give up. This is it. This is what I have right now. And
Man, you know
I
what?
don't know.
I feel like I'd love for you to do a story of that's what you just said about how like you came in as a brand new agent, you became a certified mentor, you became a top producer, you became an icon, right? You're building an empire. Like I wonder why that's not a pinned comment on your Instagram. I wonder why like that video doesn't come out like once a week about like what has it done for you? And I think that what would happen is that, like, we're sitting out there, we got this lighthouse, but the light isn't on. The light is your story, the light is your message. You tell your story more, you build your organization more, right? The same way that you're going on a stage in Ecuador, I want you to do that right there in your market too. I want you to share. And the reason why social media is so powerful is it continues to work. I've got a video that I posted like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I'm very surprised that people continue to hit that same video, right? And they continue to look at it and continue to look at it and continue to ask questions on it. And it's because it's the only one that I've got pinned, right? So it's not very surprised. But people look to see what you've got pinned. Make sure you've got a pin as to why EXP has changed your life. And and continue to tell that story, continue to tell the story, continue to tell the story. All right, we got time for like one more, two more, maybe. We end at 9:45, got 2 minutes.
Hey guys.
Go ahead.
I had an agent that she did everything except join. And her main reason was that she was trying to sell her home as an agent. And they said, "Oh, great, you're selling a home. What are you going to do after you sell your large home?" "Oh, Chris, I'm downsizing." And then I had an aha moment. "How much is your broker getting from your sale and your purchase?" 30%. Because she was
Yep.
back with that $85 a month. I'm like, calculate how much your broker is getting, and I'm going to tell you something. "Oh, Chris, I'm giving my broker 18,000. With EXP, just like myself, the first 3 deals a year, you keep up, personal deals. You don't have to pay. that could cover your EXP expenses for several years. And now she's like, Chris, let's meet today. I get it. It's like, it's personal. And that, again, $18,000 she's saving because she could get 100% of her commission. And again, that's the one thing I forgot to ask her. Why hadn't she joined? And her reason was she's, filled with things and she's concerned about selling her house. So sometimes you just gotta, ask the right questions because that was the selling point. So
yeah. Yeah, the funny thing is, you'll never know till you ask questions, right? So good stuff. We reached our cap right now. I appreciate all you guys getting on the call. I want to see you guys grow. So continue to take the action right now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Be well.